You could be a customer who spends a fixed $10 per month, or you could be a $10 a month plus another $200 this weekend type of customer. Consequently, different fans represent completely different revenue profiles for creators. And don't let the microtransactions fool you. These purchases can become very expensive for customers, whether through individual high-priced transactions or an accumulation of smaller charges. Creators can place their entire profile behind a monthly paywall, as is common in today's subscription economy. Then, they can layer on paid posts, private messages, and other one-off unlocks that can run into the triple digits, depending on their settings and platform limits. For many creators, this has become the primary monetization channel. In October 2025, Blair announced that OnlyFans had paid out $25 billion to creators since 2016. A cumulative payout of that magnitude is only possible if a massive base of customers consistently chooses to pay for something they could, in theory, find elsewhere for free. This all begs the question, where are all these customers coming from? While we don't have a public breakdown of fan spending by country, web traffic data provides a decent proxy for where attention is concentrated. A January 2026 snapshot from SEMrush placed OnlyFans.com at around 400 million monthly visits, with the United States accounting for approximately 40% of that traffic, followed by the UK, Mexico, Germany, and Brazil. Notably, more than half of the traffic was categorized as direct visits, which is consistent with the online behavior of a habitual user. This indicates that OnlyFans is not some random website people stumble upon, but a destination they intentionally return to. This is partly due to constraints the platform faces. For instance, it cannot launch mobile apps on major app stores because of the nature of its content. The huge dollar figures and loyal customer base are where OnlyFans starts to become a useful, albeit unconventional, economic indicator. Of course, we aren't talking about a precise macroeconomic gauge. The best internal metrics are private, and public proxies like web traffic can't tell you whether people are spending more or just browsing. However, OnlyFans sits at the intersection of two key economic trends: discretionary spending and personal financial pressure. If consumers start tightening their belts, platforms that rely on recurring payments and add-on purchases should be among the first to feel the impact. A 2025 survey from Deloitte found that people are not increasing their subscription spending, and many report subscription fatigue from managing multiple services amid rising prices. Another survey from Boston Consulting Group found that any expected increase in consumer spending is driven by inflation, not by desire. As a result, many people are planning cutbacks on a wide range of consumer goods and services. According to that survey, consumer confidence in developed markets has turned significantly negative since June 2025. So, while OnlyFans figures have been on an upward trend, at least through the last reported numbers in 2024, a future drop in revenue could signal that the average person is struggling financially. In the K-shaped economy we now inhabit, higher-income households can maintain their spending habits, while everyone else is getting squeezed by the rising costs of essentials like rent and food. Many would argue that this squeeze is reflected in the explosive rise of women using OnlyFans as a side hustle, including students who have explicitly stated they use it to cover tuition and basic living expenses. At the risk of sounding judgmental, this does not paint a very healthy picture of the economy. But while the platform's stats may serve as a proxy for the economy's poor health, the OnlyFans economic model itself is facing some serious potential threats. What is the biggest one? Everyone's favorite topic right now: artificial intelligence. AI is the first technology capable of mass-producing the OnlyFans-style creator, and it has the potential to disrupt the entire ecosystem. That story begins with theft. If someone can scrape a creator's photos, perform a face swap, clone their voice, and generate new clips using AI technology, you end up with counterfeit supply that directly competes with the real person's account. And because deepfakes spread most rapidly on external platforms, the damage can be done before a creator even becomes aware of it. That is creepy enough on its own and represents a serious violation of a creator's personal autonomy. But the structural threat from AI goes beyond simple impersonations or rip-offs. It's about original, synthetic content. Over the last year, AI-generated influencers have become powerful conversion tools. We're talking about synthetic models running Instagram accounts that funnel followers to paid adult subscription sites. The so-called AI pimping scene describes a burgeoning ecosystem of accounts that blend fully AI-generated images with deepfake videos, effectively creating synthetic personalities that are then monetized through subscription links. Once a paying customer lands on the subscription page, they are often purchasing more AI content, not content from a human creator. This is where things get truly strange. A synthetic OnlyFans-style model never burns out and can be scaled infinitely, just like software. FanView, an adult-only subscription platform that embraces AI, has stated that AI creators have accounted for as much as 15% of its revenue in certain months. They also highlighted one AI persona that generated approximately $23,000 in a single month after a rapid launch. If the creator is synthetic, the operator can be anyone, including some random person running prompts and managing direct messages. The product becomes a character, and the work becomes a pure exercise in customer conversion and retention, completely detached from any real human being. AI isn't just an external threat either. It's already being used within the creator economy to scale the private communication part of the job we mentioned earlier. Some models and agencies are using AI to keep up with DMs, either replacing or supplementing the human chatters who previously did that work. For human creators, all of this culminates in a new form of competition, accounts that can flood the market with infinite, customizable content, priced aggressively and constantly optimized for engagement. An obvious response is to sell proof of reality, such as through live interactions or verified identity. But that only increases the workload and raises the bar for everyone in an already demanding market. OnlyFans, as a platform, cannot afford to ignore this trend, and not just because it stands to lose revenue to rival platforms that unscrupulously leverage AI content. This development also comes with increased legal and operational costs. The U.S. Take It Down Act, for example, pushes for rapid removal of non-consensual intimate imagery, which includes AI-generated fakes. This may also explain why OnlyFans has been attempting to adjust its public image, even if only slightly. If you listen to their executives, they want OnlyFans to be seen as a broad-based creator platform, not just an adult content site. CEO Keely Blair has argued it can be a major player in the wider creator economy by pitching its strengths in safety and monetization across various categories. Perhaps, but the brand association is, to say the least, very sticky. And the same constraints from banks and card networks still apply. Even if OnlyFans succeeds in onboarding a more diverse range of creators, many with mainstream sponsors may decide the reputational risk of being on the platform just isn't worth it. So, although the owners of OnlyFans might be ready to sell, negotiations around its valuation may prove to be very challenging. Alright, folks, that's about all the time we have for today. But what are your thoughts? Will OnlyFans continue to post massive numbers? Does AI pose a genuine threat, or is this just speculation running wild? Let us know what you think down in the comments. And since we're on the topic of subscription businesses, if you want to learn how the entire world is being reshaped by the subscription-based economy, you should check out this video over here. That's all from me for today. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. In late 2025, a fascinating ranking circulated through the business media, one that focused on a powerful, if unconventional, metric: revenue per employee. Topping the list wasn't a tech giant like Nvidia or Apple. It was OnlyFans, boasting an estimated revenue of over $30 million per employee. Now, before your imagination runs wild, let's be clear, this isn't Coin Bureau Finance After Dark. Today, we are delving into the economics of OnlyFans to demonstrate why it stands as one of the most remarkable business stories of our time. Even if you disregard the initial graphic and focus solely on the latest officially published accounts, the narrative remains extraordinary. For the fiscal year ending November 30, 2024, the parent company of OnlyFans reported some staggering figures: net revenue of $1. $41 billion, pre-tax profit of $684 million, and a lean team of only 46 employees. Do the math, and that comes out to nearly $31 million in net revenue for every single person on the payroll. It's worth pausing on that net revenue detail, as it's more than just a massive number. It represents the platform's actual share of the pie. OnlyFans doesn't record the gross value of fans' spending as its own revenue. Instead, it takes a commission for operating the platform, managing the flow of money, and ensuring the entire operation remains compliant enough to continue functioning. The business model can be best understood as a sophisticated virtual toll booth. Creators supply the content, fans provide the payment, and the company maintains an exceptionally small payroll while taking a fixed 20% commission on every transaction. While the majority of content on OnlyFans may be of a sexual nature, there is nothing particularly sexy about how the platform allocates that 20% cut. It covers essential costs like hosting, customer support, payment processing, referral payments, and all other operational services. With such headline-grabbing figures and a straightforward business model, it certainly sounds like a license to print money. This begs a crucial question: why would the owners of such a lucrative money machine be looking to sell? Earlier this year, reports emerged that OnlyFans was in discussions to sell a majority stake of around 60% of its business to Architect Capital. This deal would peg the company's equity valuation at approximately $3.5 billion. When you compare that to its most recently reported net revenue of $1.41 billion, it works out to a multiple of just 2.5x, a remarkably modest figure for a company this profitable. A subsequent report from Reuters described the same arrangement but offered more detail on the capital structure, citing a $5.5 billion valuation including debt, and $3.5 billion excluding it. So, the final valuation depends on which number you prioritize. However, even with the higher $5 billion figure, the multiple is still just under 4x net revenue. So, why the conservative valuation? When you see multiples like that, it's typically a sign that potential buyers are pricing in a significant amount of risk. This skeptical valuation becomes even more intriguing when you look at older reports. In May 2025, Reuters had reported on earlier talks that placed the company's valuation closer to $8 billion. Clearly, the landscape for the OnlyFans business is shifting, and it's likely no coincidence that its owners are looking to offload a significant stake. For OnlyFans, the primary constraints aren't server capacity or consumer demand, which are common hurdles for other online businesses. Instead, its vulnerabilities lie in its legitimacy and, most critically, its access to the financial system for moving money, factors that can change in an instant. This is a platform that can generate cash at an incredible rate, yet it remains fundamentally fragile in key areas. The behavior of its owner, Leonid Radvinsky, communicates this fragility quite clearly. In 2024 alone, he paid himself dividends exceeding $700 million. That is not the typical move of an owner who believes the only risk on the horizon is increased competition. It's the kind of action you take when you want to secure your gains, so to speak. But why the urgency? Beyond simply enjoying the fruits of a massive financial windfall, the owners may be looking to cash in because the tail risks inherent in the OnlyFans business model are unavoidable. In short, the entire OnlyFans operation depends on the cooperation of banks, card networks, and a select few payment partners, all of whom can decide, almost at a moment's notice, that the platform's business category is simply too risky to support. Let's trace the flow of payments through the platform. A fan pays with a card. The issuing bank gives its approval, the card network routes the transaction, an acquiring bank accepts it, and the funds settle in accounts controlled by OnlyFans. The platform then pays out to its creators, a process that involves a high volume of small transactions and a vast number of cross-border transfers. All the while, the platform must continuously manage fraud, disputes, and other compliance issues to keep its banking partners from getting nervous. For the adult entertainment industry, this has been a persistent challenge. In 2020, both Visa and MasterCard ceased processing payments for Pornhub following intense scrutiny over illegal content on the site. This was a move by major financial players that cut off a business at its knees, forcing it to fundamentally change its operations. It's also important to understand why adult-oriented platforms are classified as high risk in the first place. While the bank shares in some of the platform's financial upside, it also shoulders a disproportionate amount of the downside. This includes elevated rates of fraud, refund disputes, higher chargeback exposure, and most importantly, the severe reputational and regulatory blowback that can occur if illegal exploitation slips through the cracks. This isn't just a matter of public relations. MasterCard's published network rules explicitly outline strict compliance expectations, including anti-money laundering and sanctions requirements, along with the penalties for non-compliance. Visa operates under a similar framework, which places immense pressure on the banks themselves. In this dynamic, the bank is ultimately responsible for ensuring its merchants stay within the established guidelines. If you think this is just standard business compliance, consider what happened in 2021. In August of that year, OnlyFans announced it would ban all content depicting sexually explicit conduct. The company stated unequivocally that the change was necessary to satisfy its banking partners and payment providers. This announcement triggered an immediate and intense backlash from its creators, for whom explicit content was the core of their business. Less than a week later, OnlyFans reversed its decision, stating that it had secured the necessary assurances to continue supporting adult content. So, all's well that ends well? Not quite. Fast forward to last year, and it's clear the scrutiny has not subsided. In 2025, a whistleblower complaint filed with FinCEN alleged that MasterCard and Visa had failed to prevent their networks from being used to process payments linked to child sex abuse and sex trafficking on OnlyFans. While MasterCard and Visa disputed the allegations and OnlyFans denied tolerating any illegal content, the incident highlights a critical point. This external pressure first hits the payment infrastructure, and then ricochets directly into platform policy. OnlyFans is profoundly dependent on card payments to fuel its billion-dollar enterprise. Any disruption to that flow, and the entire business could collapse. As we've seen, major decisions that impact this multi-billion-dollar company can be made overnight. Keeping up with all these market gyrations can be tough, unless you've subscribed to the free Coin Bureau Finance newsletter. That's where we break down the key developments across business, markets, politics, and more, so you can stay informed on what truly matters. We also feature exclusive deals for our viewers, including discounts, bonuses, and promotions put together specifically for this channel. All you have to do is click the link in the description or scan the QR code. And now, back to the video. Okay, let's pivot from the platform itself to the creators who produce all of its content. The scale of the creator side of the equation is, frankly, staggering. According to the latest published figures for 2024, the number of creator accounts increased by 13% to approximately 4.6 million. Fan accounts climbed to around 377 million, and total subscriber spending reached $7.2 billion for the year. This resulted in roughly $5.8 billion being paid out to creators under the platform's standard 80-20 revenue split. You might have noticed something a bit strange in those figures. Let's dig deeper. If you simply divide the $5.8 billion in creator payouts by the 4.6 million creators, you get an average of about $1,260 per creator for the entire year. Of course, that figure isn't an accurate average paycheck. Instead, it's a glaring red flag, signaling a classic winner-take-most market. A tiny cohort of top-tier creators is harvesting a disproportionate share of the revenue, leaving a vast majority to compete for the scraps. This kind of concentration isn't unique to OnlyFans. It's a defining characteristic of the broader creator economy. Last year, a report from Creator IQ found that top creators are capturing an ever-increasing share of payouts, while median earnings lag far behind. OnlyFans does not publish a percentile breakdown of its creator earnings, but independent analysis from OnlyGator estimates that the top 0.1% of creators capture about 76% of the total revenue share. It certainly sounds lucrative for the top earners. But what does the job of an OnlyFans creator actually entail? Well, the core idea is to build and manage a subscription-based business where the product is, fundamentally, access. This requires constant traffic generation on external platforms, a relentless focus on improving retention on the platform itself, and a sales system that blends customer support with a touch of flirtation. There is no algorithm that will reliably deliver customers to you. Academic research on the platform, and yes, it exists, shows how creators become heavily reliant on third-party social networks to promote their pages and engage with followers. This all sounds like an immense amount of work for one person to manage. And that's precisely why we've seen the rise of OnlyFans agencies. When an account begins to scale successfully, individual creators often hit a hard ceiling. They simply cannot film, edit, post, market, upsell, and message hundreds of people every day without either burning out or building a team. Agencies, on the other hand, can manage the entire operation. They can handle account management, social media promotion, organization of custom content sales, and even hire so-called chatters, who manage paid private messages while posing as the creator. Some creators have told reporters they barely log into their own accounts anymore. They simply send content to their agency and let the machine handle the rest. This agency layer transforms OnlyFans from a simple platform into an entire labor market ecosystem. The networks of outsourced chat workers are a particularly bizarre feature of this system. Typically outsourced to workers in emerging market countries like the Philippines, these chatters are often given sales quotas, with the unique challenge that their product is intimacy. Even for creators who never hire an agency, the market itself can be incredibly tough, a sentiment echoed by many. They speak to reporters about market saturation, the relentless demand for new content, and the mental strain of having one's income tied to being on for subscribers every single day. The average annual pay of just over $1,000 is proof enough that this is far from the easy money some might imagine. OnlyFans sells creators on the dream of independence. The reality, however, is that they learn the same hard lesson every small business owner learns. Success is incredibly difficult and extraordinarily time-consuming. Now that we've covered the supply side, what about the demand? As mentioned earlier, consumers on OnlyFans are paying for more than just content. They are paying for access and on-demand attention. They are seeking something that feels more direct and private, as opposed to mass-produced content sprinkled with ads in a public feed. This means the standard subscription model is only half the story. In recent years, OnlyFans CEO Keely Blair has noted that payment patterns on the platform have been shifting away from a traditional subscription-first model and more towards microtransactions. These are the one-off purchases that occur within the creator-fan relationship after a subscription has already been established. Economically, this shift is significant because these microtransactions function as a form of price discrimination hardwired directly into the product. A subscription gets a fan in the door. From there, the platform allows creators to charge different customers different amounts for varying levels of access, all without needing complicated tiers or bundles.